the show. It's time to rock and roll. Let your presence grow. We're dialing up the energy, giving it our all. Get ready for the ride. We're about to make the call. Get loud, be seen. It's time to take the stage. Unlock your potential. Let the world engage. Get loud, be seen. We're breaking through the noise. With every rhythm, roll, we'll rise and rejoice. Get loud, be seen. It's time to take the stage. Unlock your potential. Let the world engage. Get loud, be seen. We're breaking through the noise. With every rhythm, roll.
Here we are.
Woo! We made it.
We're back at it, Monty. Back
Not only
at
the
it.
weekend, but the year.
That's
We
right.
survived it.
And Monty, man, I haven't seen you in a while. Feels like it's been
It's been a
last
little
year.
longer than average.
A little longer than average.
It's good to be back.
It's great to be back.
Yeah,
Happy
I really
2025.
enjoy these sessions here on Mondays. Get my
Yeah.
week started out right. I don't dread the Monday morning thing as much as I used to.
Hmm.
Well, I don't dread it at all anymore, but it's a true statement because I used to dread it, like most people.
Yeah.
We have the Garfield syndrome.
Hmm. Garfield syndrome. Take me back.
Oh, that's right. There may be some younger folks out there that might not know what that means.
God, what?
But you got to look up the Garfield poster with Garfield just walking down the street, and there's a corner. He can't see around the corner. Around the corner, there's Monday standing there with a blackjack, waiting for him to come around the corner.
Struggle.
That's the traditional Monday thought. And I want
Right.
to bust that idea. Say, you know what?
Bust it.
I'm just going to do all the fun stuff I like to do on Monday. I would say this is the first thing, but I've already started my day with Stephen in London. So you'll just have to take second place, Carl. Sorry. But I look forward to it. I look forward to it. And here we are. And where are we, by the way?
On another edition of Get Found
and Be Seen.
That's right. I think, Monty, my hypothesis is that I think it's just a Monty Monday. That's why you're in such a mood.
I think you're right. It's a
Okay.
Monty mood on Monty Monday. It's a Monday mood. Monty's Monday mood.
Monty's Monday. Got it.
Well, we'll start throwing in some mayhem in there, and then we'll really get crazy.
Uh-huh. But
hey,
today, Monty, yes, go ahead.
Luckily on this Monty Monday, I am not suffering from any form of perfectionism. Obviously,
yes.
Here I am.
Got started. And that's what we're talking about today. Shedding perfectionism. Shedding is a word that people use usually at the top of the year, right? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Shedding pounds.
Right. That's usually the big one. Layers of clothes sometimes, but
layers of clothes.
Probably not right now. It's still cold here.
Mm-hmm. Shedding negative relationships. Ooh.
Yep. Negative thought patterns.
Negative thought patterns. Yup. But we're talking about shedding perfectionism.
Just one specific thing. Lots of things we could shed.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the perfectionism, or as I like to say, getting every duck in a straight line.
Good luck.
Not just a row. And not just your ducks. It's every duck. And it's a straight line. By golly, if I don't have that, there's no way I could click record. There's no way I could start my day.
Right.
Because I already knew that one duck is one step out. It's driving me nuts.
Right. Everything or certain things has to be done perfectly. That, like you mentioned, that one thing.
And it just bothers you. Bothers me.
Mhm.
Just nags at me.
Yep. Oh yeah. I could be that way sometimes. Even when I get out of bed, I have to get out of bed a certain way.
There's that saying, got out on the wrong side of the bed.
Right, that's true, right? You could apply it to that for sure. But it's so true, and it's so important for us to discuss this topic today, because I believe, and I believe you believe too. We believe that it's easy to have this mindset, when it comes to putting out content, when it comes to bringing your brand, expressing your brand out, and getting stuff done. And it doesn't have to be that way. And I know there are many people in our audience, Monty, that they want to get stuff out, but it's just like there's that parking brake that is just placed, and we want to help them just put it in drive.
And that's not because we are analyzing, oh, look what's happening to people. It's like, hey, look what I'm struggling with. And here's some things that I've done that have helped me.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, now let's just share those things, because we are shedding perfectionism, but it's not that it's gone.
Right.
That we're being self-aware and analyzing, saying, oh, hey, this is the behavior I'm exhibiting.
Right.
And I have the power of choice.
Right. Right. And if you don't mind, Monty, I'd like to even ask our audience, if there's something that you feel like you struggle with perfectionism, type it in the comment area. I mentioned getting out of bed, but even when it comes to presenting and being on camera, like, my presentations aren't perfect, Monty. I'm a perfectionist in certain things. And at the end of the day, I just have to decide, you know what? Let it go. And just get something done. Like we talked about, done is better than perfect. Perfect action.
Well, there's the definition of perfect also. Because if you reflect, you can almost always improve. And so therefore, it wasn't perfect. And can you ever achieve said perfection? Because then there's the extraneous variable that pops up. Oh, yeah, but under this circumstance, that's not ideal. Well, then that means that there's never a perfect circumstance. Oh, no. And that's where I get caught up.
Yeah.
I like that duck in a row thing. You got the one duck that's out of the row, and with the perfectionism mentality, I will go and I will mess with the duck. But unfortunately, it typically causes the next duck to fall over or to move, or something happens, and that's like, oh, now I got to fix that one. It's like, and hopefully they're not just a set of dominoes.
Mm-hmm.
You hit one, it's like, oh, darn it, they all just fell over.
Right. And I could be one who's just busy putting a bow tie. I like bow ties, Monty. I could be one who's busy putting a bow tie or a regular tie on that duck. And it's the third duck, and it's just, wait, fourth duck. Hold up, wait. Let me get it right.
Well,
it ain't right.
There's the specifics. I'm talking about ducks, and people are like, well, what do you mean to duck? Okay, so it's a bow tie. And it's like, oh, it's a little bit crooked. I need to a little, okay. Oh, I got it. Hey, wait, now it's starting to come undone. I messed with it so much. Now it's coming undone.
Right.
And so there's that obstacle, that perfectionism. I'm messing with it to get it absolutely perfect. And typically when you mess with it, it becomes worse.
Exactly.
It's like, I had it at 99%. Now it's at 89%. I got to start over.
Right. That's a great analogy. It gets worse. That's what happens at the end of the day.
And negative thoughts breed negative thoughts. So then
yes,
you're messing with this and struggling. It's not perfect. Just like, and neither is that. And neither is that. And now suddenly there's all these things that are only 99%.
Right. Ain't that
last time
truth?
I checked, 99% was still an A passing grade.
Yeah. Right. And it's easy to forget that it's the other things that come along too, the process, the experience, your growth in all of it.
We've been trained, though, from an early age that a perfect GPA, a perfect 4.0 grade point average is going to get you further in life. If you
Yeah.
don't get your perfect grades, well, then you're going to struggle.
Right.
So there's this, we're set up with that mentality. If I don't have it perfect, then I'm going to struggle. And ironically, we struggle trying to make it perfect. And so
Right.
already failed.
Right. That's so true. So true. And so we could agree that it hinders business owners for sure for unlocking their natural speaking voice.
Right. So then we take all this ducks in a row and perfectionism, and we start talking about being present and your presence and being worried about that.
Right.
And that can definitely affect your setup and your delivery.
Right. Absolutely. And I know it can for me, when I think about that, and I love my background because there's so many things I pull from it. And at the end of the day, talking about the entertainment background, at the end of the day, it's all communication. And with that communication, there's so many things I could focus on. But if I just focus on simply adding value to the individual that's right in front of me or the group that's right in front of me, it's a conversation. But the perfectionism gets in the way.
It also ties back, we've talked about it before, about being authentic.
Yeah.
And so there's this balance, because if you get everything perfect, are you being
Yeah.
authentic? Because are you perfect?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not.
Me neither.
So it's, and what's the word I want there? The expectation. It's an unreasonable expectation.
Yeah.
Simply unreasonable.
Ain't that the truth? What's up, John? Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year indeed.
Happy New Year. That's so true. And I love the fact that you said that it is a balance, because it is a balance. It's being authentic, being your natural self. When I talk to people about, showing up with their presence, and hey, Michelle, Happy New Year, authenticity. That's right. That's right. Being yourself. When I talk to people about presence and in the authenticity side of things, it's so deep. It's all your experiences that you bring to the table since even youth. I like going that far back because that's my pattern. That's my pathway. That's no one else's pathway. And the thing is, everyone has a pathway, and that's their authenticity, in my view. And so when I'm coaching people, I'm like, well, think about it. And sometimes I'll put on music and I'll have them act out something that they've done, whether speaking to their child or making lunch for someone. And it's silly, right? And it's fun, but it's a fun way to learn because they get a chance to get in touch and get self-aware with their pathway. And that experience in and of itself is so special.
Now, what I find interesting about what you're describing there is that if you are struggling with perfectionism, by acting out with someone else or describing the actions, discussing with someone else what's going on, you can get the feedback on someone else saying, hey, that's cool, that's good. And so when you're describing, hey, I'm at this 89, 94%, I'm trying to get to 100, and they're saying, hey, that's great. So it gives you some validation to say, oh, they already like it. It doesn't need to be at that 100%. I don't need 6% more to top it off to make it worthwhile. It's worthwhile now.
Right.
In fact, if I spend 50% effort to get 6% gain, boy, you don't want to be doing that much in life.
Right. And that's a whole other topic right there. I love that you said that, Monty, because I think about even being a performing artist. When I perform and I'm giving, my goal is to give 100%, but that 100% may not look like 100% to the individual, to certain individuals. But what is that 100%? I showed up, I gave my best, and I was present. You know, so I think about that and I'm like, that's a podcast episode in it of itself.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Mm.
Where was that thought? Oh, yeah. Okay, so okay, we're going to be on that now. We'll segue. Making sense. Making 100% sense. That's part of that perfectionism that we touched base a little bit, and then we said, hey, let's not talk about that yet because then we'll ruin it for the show. So here, let's talk about it now.
Okay.
See, it makes 100% sense.
Uh-huh.
If it doesn't make 100% sense, it doesn't make enough sense. If it doesn't make sense, why would I want to talk? Why would I do it? And so there's that perfectionism thing. It's got to make sense 100%. But that's perception.
Right.
And that's where the other person giving you that other viewpoint from another vector so that you can see that 100% is a viewpoint. Because other people saying, hey, you've nailed that. That's 100%. Even though you might think, yeah, but there's a little thing missing. There's some icing. I could really make that better. In fact, here's a great analogy. The other guy might be saying, yeah, icing, that'd make too rich. It's too much. That's 110%. Ooh, perspectives.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I'm glad you went there, by the way.
That just sounded
help
cool.
it.
Like you said, it makes 100% sense.
Makes 100% sense.
But it doesn't have to. When it does, that's beautiful.
Right.
But again, we're looking for a passing grade, man. If you get 89%, 85%, we're still in a B category here.
Yeah.
That's a passing grade.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's showing up as your best. Just giving your best and showing up as your best.
That's 100%.
That's 100%.
Some days you might be better than others.
Mm-hmm.
But you could have given 100% in both days.
Right.
And there's no reason to critique and say, well, this day was bad and this day was good.
Right.
Why isn't this day was good and this day was better?
Yeah. As my kids would say, facts. I love that. We got to build, by the way, and take a mental note. We got to build off of that. What we just talked about, that section for sure.
Yeah.
But authenticity matters for sure. You know, being yourself, being who you are is more impactful, you know, and that then striving for like a perfectionist, a perfectionism, a flawlessness. Show up, give your best. Let's go. Should I tell them about my word for the year, Monty?
Hey, it's the beginning of the year. It's a great time to talk about the word for the year.
Okay. I'm going there. You went there, so I might as well go there too. You do it. Hey, why not? My word for the year is unleash. Unleash. And, you know, who knows? I thought, you know, is this word going to be like a buzzword? I don't know. Who cares? I feel like in this season of my life right now, I want to run with that word. I'm not even say I need that word. I want to run with that word because being able to leash wherever I'm at, showing up, even on this podcast, wherever I'm at, I want to be able to unleash the greatness that I already have in me because that's going to give other people permission to unleash their greatness.
I want to point out what you were talking about before the show, though, with the definition of unleash. Because different people might think about that differently. Like, oh my gosh, when you unleash, things go bad. It's like, oh, that's. But you said, what was it that you said? The gap, and then it turned into two gaps. It's the gap between preparing thoughts, planning, and taking action.
Ooh. Love that. I forgot I said that.
Well, that's because we were like, no, we got to talk about it on the show. So now,
right.
And so what you were describing was that the unleashing part was unleashing the thought process involved in the gaps
Mm.
and not fearing the failure. In fact, embracing failing fast
Mm.
in the regards of, hey, that was a great learning experience and it didn't kill me. That which does not kill me merely educates me and makes me stronger.
Or there you go. Got it.
So there's that definition for you in this context of unleashing your presence, unleashing your ability, and then course correcting afterwards.
Yeah.
And
Man,
it doesn't work in every circumstance,
right.
but that's why we wanted to put this into context, so that way
Right.
we're like this specific context. This is the strategy where, if you're driving
Right.
your car, that's different. Don't take the
Yeah.
strategy into the car with you.
Right. Or if you're making pancakes or something, don't unleash all and make a hot mess.
That's right. That's
you know,
right. There's
then-
some places that you need to leash.
Right.
But when we're talking
My
about
kids
getting
do that
things done,
sometimes, though, I must say.
when we're talking about the perfectionism,
Right.
we want to unleash our abilities and unleash our talent and unleash our presence
Right.
and let that carry us forward and get past the obstacle. And then we
Right.
can use self-awareness and say, hey, that worked out perfect, or
Right.
close enough to perfect, or wow, that was a tech show.
Mm.
I need to do that differently next time.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's important. Self-awareness is important because when you can be self-aware, you know yourself and you're able to develop strategies, whether if you need to work with a coach or if you're working with a group. I know Michelle was on here too. She works with Mastermind. She's Mastermind Queen.
Wow.
If you have some support there and you have that self-awareness, or if you're doing it on your own, you could also have a strategy. So you don't want to just do it just whimsical. It's important to have a strategy because you want to know where you want to go. But if you're able to unleash and just avoid sidestep that perfectionism, that's a win-win right there.
Indeed.
Indeed.
I was just reveling in the individual definitions of things.
Yeah.
We all get to define words the way we like them now, and so we got to be careful when we use words, because
make sure you put it in the context, the right context.
Right, perspective and context. Because
Right.
communication is key.
Communication's key. That's right. And we all do communicate. That's right, baby.
Some more than others and some better than others.
Well.
Now, let's move onwards there. We were talking about being self-aware. However, that you can go too far. You can be too extreme. You can unleash too much self-awareness, and then you become self-criticizing.
Right.
So we want to be aware, but we don't want to judge. Right. There's no judging involved. There's just there's a analysis.
Yeah.
What worked, what didn't work. We're just analyzing. We're just being aware. We're just checking stuff out. How'd that go? Not as good as I wanted. Okay, don't dwell on it. Don't criticize over it. Could you have done it better? Sure. Well, how? Okay, let's do that next time.
Yep. And boom, I have more information.
Right. Exactly. Well, there is that part of, okay, I know not to do that.
Right.
Now, if in the trap of perfectionism, we often will look at that circumstance and say, God, I messed that up. Oh, that was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't done that.
Right.
Well, those may be true.
Right.
But they're not very productive.
Right. I know I've done that. Even in my last speech, I did that. And I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said it. Oh, was I prepared? I needed to say it, but did the audience, did it resonate with the audience? And I could have, I missed out on a lot of fun in this process of learning and growing. And I eventually got to my destination. You know, we don't never fully get to our destination, but I got to where I wanted to get to. But I could have got there a lot faster if I just enjoyed that process more.
Or smoother.
It's smoother. And I don't regret it. You know, it's just I took note of that as I moved forward.
Being self-aware.
Right.
Well, another danger of that thought process is, though, that we can carry that forward to the next thing. So here we are analyzing or criticizing. Critiquing still okay. Criticizing is what we're doing to our of the actions. And so therefore we're going to carry that forward. And there is the perfectionist. Okay, I don't want to do that. I can't do it like that. And then I'm set up to do it that way. And I know I don't want to do it that way. So I better not do it at all.
Yeah.
So that perfectionism thought process can churn from one perspective into the future and further perspectives, and where self-awareness and just identifying, that's what's happening. We said this earlier, knowing the problem is half the solution.
Right.
So just being self-aware and identifying, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing these perfectionism thoughts. I'm stuck in this routine, this rut of working so hard to get it to the perfect stage.
Yeah.
And for me, if I churn through all of that effort and then produce something or do the thing I'm doing, I will still criticize myself afterwards because I've set myself up to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to have all these things around. It didn't go the way I wanted because of this and this and this and this. And then humans are really good at it's that fault. It's because of that. It's not my fault.
Right. That's true.
And then if you're stuck on being perfect and it's not your fault, well, then you just can't do it at all because you have no control and it can't be perfect. So you can't do it.
Right.
At least that's been a good excuse for me.
Yeah. No, that I can relate to that. You just that feeling of stuckedness. You like that word, stuckedness?
I do like that word. That's definitely a word right up my alley. Stuckedness.
Yeah, stuckedness. You know, and there's so many people out there that are waiting for your impact, which is a beautiful thing, which is an exciting thing. So that's what we want to do. We want to help people to get to that point of getting unstuck.
Unwhelmed.
I like that word.
That's my word for the year.
Unwhelmed.
Well, I think that another danger when you're striving for perfectionism is that you come across unauthentic. We talked about being authentic. Let's talk about the reverse of that. It's like when you're not authentic.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that shows up is because you've tried too hard.
Right. Yeah. Forcing it, as the kids say. You're forcing it.
Right. No, not the force. That might be okay. But forcing it, that's
yeah, those are my movies right there. Star Wars. Leave Star Wars out of it, Monty. Those are my movies right there.
good stuff.
That's true. But
it is so there's the lack of relaxation and natural flow. Those things, the naturalness doesn't happen if you've strived to be perfect. I think that's what I keep playing in my mind. It's like, well, I can't be perfect. So if I strive to be perfect, I'm wasting effort. I think my mindset that helps me is when I can change perfect to great.
Yeah.
Says I don't want to settle. I'm not saying, you just, make do, be content with it, whatever, settle for. It's just knowing, okay, I don't need to be the 100%, the 96% still good. So it's great. 96 is great. So I can strive for greatness and not worry about perfection.
Right. I like that. I like to think about the whole idea of experience. How can we make this experience great? And I say this sometimes too. There are a lot of things I can't do. I'll just keep it real, Monty. But I can throw a party. I can throw a party, put on some good music and dance and have fun and make sure everyone else has fun. And so what I like to ask myself is, how can I make this experience great? And that motivates me to give a great effort and not worry about being perfect.
Yeah,
So
that's
when you
that's
said that,
that's
it
pretty
reminded me of that.
profound, actually. Saying that out
Mm,
loud and then you saying it again,
mm,
that's a pretty good statement right there to take with you, of just saying, "Hey, how can I make this great?"
mhm.
Or just, "How can I make this one step better?" There could
Half
be
step?
50 steps available, but I'm just worried about making it a little bit better.
Right. Can they say half step too?
We can say half step. We can do a half step, because a
That's
half
right.
step is way better than no step.
Yeah, very true. You know,
And
you mentioned. Go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, no. I want you to finish.
I was just thinking how the half step and perfectionism, it's like, well, it'd be perfect if I could just take every step, the big, huge stride, full
Yeah,
staircase. Well, I can't quite reach. I got a bum knee. I can't lift it that high up. Whatever the reason is, I can't quite get to that next step, but I could reach the half step. So it might not be perfect, but it gets me going.
that's right.
And there's our first episode all over again. Imperfect action, baby.
Imperfect action. That's right. I was gonna say, Monty, you're giving away our age. Shh. Talking about all this full steps and jumps and half steps and
And bad knees and not
and
making it
bad
up.
knees. And dude, I got bad knees, man. Well, I don't have bad knees. All the years of performing, one of the things I was known for was jumping off the stage. Like, not just, okay, here's a jump, like jumping high off the stage and then landing on concrete and things like that. Those days are over. I just had to say that, Monty. Those days are over for me. But it's my knees. Thankfully, my knees aren't bad.
Your
But
knees are experienced.
they're experienced.
They're experienced. You have danced a few moves, and then saying jumping off the stage. That's a little. But there's that self-awareness, saying, "Okay,
Self-awareness.
this is what I used to do. I liked doing it, and now I can't." So you could go like, "Well, now I'm not perfect anymore because I can't do the things that I used to do."
Yes, right. Or I could
And then,
say I could slide off the stage.
well, I was going to say, if you continue to keep doing something that you've identified is not good for your health,
Right.
just because you're trying to be perfect or maintain that image.
Right.
So
Right.
self-awareness and knowing, hey, what's good for me is pretty important.
What's good for me. Although I did it because I love to do it. It was just fun. It was a rush. But no more. Days are over.
Now you're going to slide off the stage.
Slide off the stage. Or look to the right or left and take the steps. Depending on the day. So, yes, authenticity. Yes, we want to make sure we maintain our authenticity, be ourselves. That's one way. Relax. I love when you talked about being relaxed. That's so important. And as far as a consequence, you do feel the discomfort, but you know what? Your audience can feel that discomfort as well if you're not careful. So it is, that's some truth right there. We got to put that in there, Monty. Like, for you want to make sure you're not striving for perfection. You just want to be your best and create a great experience, but also be aware of the people that you want to give value to. That when you're going after perfection, it's going to affect your audience if you're not careful. Would you agree?
Right. Yeah, that you've got that unauthentic, and then the resonating or lack of resonating. And like trying too hard.
Yeah.
Most people can pick out when someone is trying too hard for something.
Mm.
It usually stands out, not to the necessarily to the person, but to the people that are watching what's going on or seeing what's going on.
Right. True. Very true. So I want to watch out for those things. Yes, indeed, Monty.
So it's just a mindset, an ongoing routine, perfectionism. And it crosses over into all sorts of other things. So if for me, when I'm looking at, hey, I can't do this because it's not all perfect yet. Am I doing that with the birthday party? Am I doing that with, the going to lunch with my wife? Am I going, is that carrying over into other aspects of my life and being
Right.
self-aware so I can say, okay, if this is the way I operate, how can I hack myself? How can I take my mode of operation and shift a little bit so that way I'm not having to change myself, but I can change the situation.
Right. And by changing yourself, you mean like who you are authentically.
Right.
Correct?
So yeah, because if you are going to be self-aware and critique yourself, you could be in the danger of identifying a authentic quality that isn't giving you the result you want, or is seen as a negative, or has some sort of negative connotation to it. And so therefore you're in the danger of saying, well, then I just need to stop doing that. I need to stop being me, essentially.
Yeah. Right.
And so I'm suggesting in my scenario that I'm looking at that and going, instead of saying I need to stop doing that, I need to say, how can I do that in a different way? Can I do it at a different time? Can I use it? Can I take this thing that is being pointed out as a liability, and can I make it an asset? My favorite one of the story on that is Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Lee, one leg is shorter than the other.
Yeah.
People don't really know that, but that dictated his stance. And his stance is one of his most profound techniques that has made him so well known. And here's imperfect action, live in the air, and my camera just decided to interpret my vocal voice as commands. And now it is going to, oh yeah, it's going to, oh yeah,
Hey.
So now I'll just, hold on. Unlock.
Hey.
There we go.
Boom. How cool. Nice.
I got to turn that voice thing off. Boy, I tell you, if I was worried about perfectionism, that was not perfect right there. I'll tell you what.
You would have freaked out, man.
But hey, luckily, I knew the words that I needed to say.
Boom. I like your example about Bruce Lee. What a great analogy. And, using your flaws. Using your flaws, the quirks that you have. But you don't need to be perfect. None of us are perfect. You're unique. And that's part of our uniqueness and using those things to really make an impact. And sometimes I know for me, those are the things that helps me to appreciate people who are presenting, and if there are people who I see online and they stand out to me, those are things that I appreciate. That person's different. That's what makes the person unique and authentic.
And those are the things that you remember them for.
True.
You don't remember somebody when they sounded just like somebody else and somebody else and somebody else. You remember about them, maybe. Yeah, they sounded like those other people. Well, who was it? I don't remember. And conversely, sometimes it works the other way. It's like, hey, that guy with that quirky thing, he always did that thing. Yeah, what was he talking about? I don't remember.
Yeah, but it was fun. that was a fun experience, and I'm coming back.
It was authentic.
It was authentic. Yeah.
And being authentic is how you'll resonate with people.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to be perfect, even if you achieve it, nobody's going to resonate with it. Because nobody feels perfect. Nobody feels that.
Yeah. So true.
What do we got here? Marie says, by a good analyze, you can change the thought around to find the good aspects for reality checks. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. But you got to be
Thanks,
self-aware, and
Marie.
you got to spend that little bit of extra time to do that analysis, pinpoint that thing, and then take action on it. Unleash. Because there's the danger in that same cycle there too. You get to that point, it's like, oh, there's that thing. I'm not perfect. Oh my gosh, I need to change myself. No,
Right.
no, like Marie said, change your mindset.
Right.
It's a lot easier.
Right. Can I give a nugget too, Monty?
Please.
So what I like to say, and I learned this from the entertainment industry, when we're doing something or learning something or executing something, put your energy into it. And what I say better than that, a step forward, is have fun with it. Because when you're having fun with something, you are putting energy into something more than you realize. So when you make it fun and you add the energy to it, it's going to stick with you more, because there are a lot of things that are embedded in our subconscious minds. But if you make it fun.
That is a gold nugget hack right there, Carl. Let's dissect that for a minute.
Okay.
You talked about you need to put energy into something. So being by self-aware or being aware of the situation, I need to put energy into that. Hey, can you think of any time where you were having fun that you weren't putting energy into it?
Right.
I mean, I suppose I was having fun lounging around on the couch and you were enjoying it, but I don't think you were having fun. Having fun, it requires action. It requires energy. And so it's like, hey, I need to put energy into this. I know, I'll just make it fun. And therefore, I'll be putting energy into it. I won't have to think about putting energy into it.
Right.
I just think that's a great hack. That is an excellent hack. If you can make something fun, and there's that mindset, hey, let me switch this around a little bit. Let me think about it this way or that way. Hey, what if this is no longer I'm speaking on this topic, and it's I'm helping that person overcome this problem? Because then there's this, hey, I've done something and it's exciting and fun and there's an outcome, rather than just hey, let me give you some information and now we're done.
Right.
So that was a specific example, but the idea, the overlying concept there is just change the mindset, make it fun, and the energy follows.
Right. Make it fun. Woo. Go nugget, man. I had to take a beat for that real quick.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to dissect that. I think that's a pretty profound thought on mindset.
Yeah.
Which what this the whole topic, that's what this is. Perfectionism is a mindset. It's not a physical thing. It's totally in your mind. And it's also perspective and definition of what is perfect. What's perfect to one person is not perfect to another. And so therefore perfection doesn't exist. On the planet, perfection doesn't exist because someone else is going to come along and say, well, it'd be better if it was like this.
Right. True.
It'd be better if it had black licorice in it. What? But there are people that like black licorice. So, I'm a red licorice guy.
I had that yesterday.
There you go. Some red vines.
Went out with the family to see Moana 2. Had my red licorice. That's right.
There you go.
There you go. Monty, did we cover everything? This was a great episode.
We covered a lot. I don't know about everything because there's that's perfect. If we covered everything, it'd be perfect. So
true.
We covered a lot.
Perfect.
It was a great show.
Right. It wasn't perfect. Therefore, perfect.
Hey, the other aspect of if it's not perfect, that just means that there's more to do later.
Ooh, good perspective.
So we can revisit and talk more.
Yes. And so how will we keep this simple?
I think that the gold nugget right there summed that up, man. If you can make something fun, the energy will follow. So we're talking about let's tie that together with perfectionism. Hey, Don't try to make it perfect. Try to make it fun.
Boom! Ready for my explosion button? Oh, I don't have one. Sorry.
Oh, man. That'd be great.
We'll
We'll set that up for another time.
set it up another time. Not perfect this time. It's all good. Oh man, good stuff, Monty. So Monty, if people want to discover more of this and they want to figure out how to become unwhelmed and figure out how to get their brand out there and not be overwhelmed, but be unwhelmed, not be underwhelmed either, where can they go?
If they would like to be unwhelmed rather than underwhelmed, if they'd like to understand the difference between overwhelmed, underwhelmed, and unwhelmed, and just visit montyarmstrong.com and peruse through my website. I like to call myself a business strategist.
Strategy. That's right. Peruse. montyarmstrong.com. Let's go.
There we go. On the flip side of that, not looking at strategy, but looking at personal presence. If someone is wanting to be more profound, they want to have a bigger impact, they want to feel like they are making a difference, where could they go to get some advice, gold nuggets, coaching, and that sort of thing?
I love that. And I love that pause, by the way. That pause is pretty cool. You can go to, I'm going to give my link for my book too, because what we talked about today was from chapter 3 of my book, Speak Confidently on Camera. Yes. So carlalleen.com/books. And you'll find my other information in there as well if you need some support with getting help so that you can show up with a strong presence on camera or on stage. Let's go. And
in your unique self.
In your unique, authentic self with energy and fun. Fun with the energy follows. We have too much fun with this, Monty.
No, we don't. We have a lot of fun with this.
A lot of fun. Perfect.
Awesome. Well, we'll do another chapter on your book next week.
Love it.
I think that works out really great.
Looking forward to it. All right, everyone. You've been listening, watching, and paying attention to another edition of Get Found
and Be Seen.
Talk to you soon.
Have a great day. Great week.
Get found.